Hey, welcome to Zville Lessons for Live channel. My name is Xander Villain, and today we're going to be going over 5 different tips and tricks that have nothing to do with playing the guitar, but about the guitar. Let's get right into it. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is strap locks. A lot of people don't use these, and I've seen a lot of people drop their guitar on stage or in rehearsal. I use strap locks on my Les Paul, but not on my acoustic, and I'll show you why in a second. Now, this type of strap lock is the push button in the center, and it's a round piece that connects on. And to get it off, there's a hole in here I'm going to show you, but you put your fingers underneath, you push down with your thumb like this, and if you give it a little jiggle, it'll pop right off. And the way it holds on is, see those ball bearings? When you push the button in, it releases a shaft in the middle that allows the ball bearings to go into the shaft, allowing it to come off. It insets into that hole right there. And in that hole, there's a groove that's just as deep as the ball bearings. So when it goes into the hole, you push the button, it'll pop into the hole, you release it, and now the ball bearings are in that little slit that's in the inside of this, and it'll hold it from coming out. These have been on this guitar since the 80s. That's how long these strap locks have worked. That's why they're pretty dirty, as you can see, but I'm going to take this one off too. See, they're pretty, oops, sorry about that. You can see that they're pretty greasy, and they just pop right on there. They're really great. Now let me show you a different style. Now here's a different style that has a pull pin rather than a push button. And to put it on your strap, you would unscrew this, put the washer right here on the outside with the strap in between the washer and this metal piece here, and then screw it down real nice and tight to hold it on the strap. This piece would go on the strap. And what you do is when you pull the pin out, it retracts the inside nub right there. Let me see if I can do it. See that? And then you're able to put it onto the strap holder that's mounted on your guitar. That'll come with this piece. I don't have it. I lost it years ago. But it'll go on here. You pull the pin out, and then the pin drops into that hole, not allowing the strap lock to pull off. It'll just hold on there and spin around nice and freely, but it won't release. Now I'll show you, that's basically how this one works. And I think there's some other designs too that I haven't really seen. But let me show you why I don't use that on my acoustic guitar. One other style of strap lock is this guy. This comes on newer guitars, and I don't like it very much. You've got to unscrew this piece right here, and then the piece that stays in the guitar is that little nub. What happened to me was when I was unscrewing it, it ended up unscrewing the nub from the body of the guitar instead of the piece right here that I'm screwing in now off the guitar, and ended up unscrewing it from the body of the guitar. Not a very good design, if you ask me. I like the strap locks that you lock on better. And you can see it's still trying to spin in there. I'm not sure if it's spinning down in there or not, but not very good. But that's another type of strap lock. Okay, I want you to notice how small this piece is, and it doesn't need to be big because it's a strap lock strap holder. You wouldn't just put the strap on this, even though you could, but it would be dangerous because it would slip right off. On my acoustic here, you could see how much wider and bulbous this strap holder is. And so you could see, here's your typical strap. To get it on there, it's not that hard. I've wore it out quite a bit. But it's not going to come off as easy. But I got to tell you, I have dropped this guitar. I've caught it. It's never hit the stage, but I have dropped the guitar because I'm not using a strap lock. So if you're going to be jumping around and having a lot of fun on stage, I recommend strap locks. Let's do another tip. All right, this next tip is a couple of tips about your cord here. Now, I've got a straight cord going into this jack, but I haven't got it tucked up under my strap, which most people don't do. I don't know why. I've done it for 30 years. Because here's what happens if you're on stage and you happen to step on your cord and you turn. Oh, you are unplugged, man. Is just take it and tuck it up underneath your strap and then bring it down. I was looking at it backwards there. Plug it in. Now it's tucked underneath your strap. Good luck pulling that cord out. You could step on it all day long and you might trip yourself, but you're not going to unplug your guitar. But you can see the strain it just put right on that when I pulled on it tight because I stepped on it. One way to avoid that is to buy us a guitar cable with this on one end. There you go. And now it looks clean too. It's a much cleaner look rather than sticking straight out, if you care about that. Well, let me show you what happens on the amp side now. So at the amp, this in particular amp has an input on the top. A lot of amps will have an input in the front, and that could get yanked out easier if you extend the cord to the very end and then you pull on it. But they usually come at a downward angle, which makes it a little harder to pull out. But the trick to not damaging your cord by yanking on it like this, or damaging the jack, or breaking off the actual nub here, I've seen this get broken off before, is to string it through the strap or around the back somehow if you don't have a strap on top. You can double loop it too, but you can see how this will protect it from yanking too hard on that. It'll yank here and get pulled there. And if you're really worried about it, you can also just double wrap it like that. Now it's definitely not going to pull on that. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to bind up. So there's a trick for your amp. All right, this next tip is more of a warning for all of you that wear a belt buckle. And even if you keep it under your shirt like I do, this is a warning of what will happen to your guitar if you wear a belt buckle. So the trick, just don't wear it in the front. I move it off to the side. If I need to move it over, you could just do that. And even though it might not scar it as much as mine, it will put little tiny grooves in it, and that'll damage the value of the guitar as well. So just move that belt buckle over and keep it clean out front if you're a right-handed player. If not, move it over to the other side if you're a lefty. All right, this one isn't necessarily a tip or a trick, but it's just a choice of preference. And I want you guys, if you're new at guitar, to really try out different positions to see what works for you. A lot of people, when they first start playing guitar, are sitting down, so the guitar ends up being way up here, and when they stand up, they don't know where to put their strap. Now, if you look at guys like Jimmy Page, Slash, Joe Perry, guys like that, the guitar is much lower. They go way down here, but your precision isn't going to be as great on your playing. It's more of a attitude that you get going when you play your guitar way down there. I like sitting kind of right in the middle. Now, if you look at jazz guys, and if you look at bands, progressive bands like, Steve Howe, he would always wear his guitar way up here. It was way up here on his chest, and he was like such a great, precise player. If your guitar's really low, it's hard. Your wrist has got to bend so much to get that going on. When it's up higher, it's easier to grab those. So play around with it, find your position. This is about the same height as most guitarists. If you look, they're generally in the just belt buckle right on the back, just below this curve or just below the top of the guitar. That's generally a good position. Has this ever happened to you? You went to go put your guitar back on and that is there. And you got to try to figure out which way to spin this thing to get it back so your strap is straight. When you're wearing it, it's all straight, nice and good. Well, there's two ways to prevent that. If you got a cutaway like here, you can take the strap and you can, from the bottom, you can fold it over. I don't know if we can see that very good, but from the bottom, you fold it over like that. Then you can bring it back up and bring it over the top and just hang it like this. But that could also fall. It has fallen on me many times where it just falls off and then it gets all twisted up again. So what I like to do is this thing. When I'm taking the guitar off and I put it down, I automatically just bring the strap up, this part right up, and drape it over, and then just loop the other piece around the outside. And it hangs like that. So it's pretty simple. You bring this up, drape it over, and put that over the outside. And my guitar sits like that on the stand. And when I go to put it back on, I grab it, and it is ready to go. I just strap it right over and onto my body. And when I go to put it down after when I'm on a break, I just grab it, with the hand, bring it over, and just strap it back down. I do it so unconsciously now that it happens in a second. So that's my little trick that I do to keep it from getting all coiled up. It works on my acoustic guitar. It'll work on the SG down here. You can see the SG's got those little hooks. Almost every guitar's got some sort of little thing like that that'll help on. So one last tip, I dug out my Gretsch Electromatic, and it is an unbalanced guitar. Unlike my acoustic or the Les Paul that I use a lot, which are very balanced, this one tends to drop when you put the straps on where they're at. Now, I could move the strap holder back to here if I wanted to balance it a little bit better. But instead of doing that, what I did was, and I'm not a big fan of wider straps, so I've got the thinnest wide strap I could get. And what I've done is I found a strap that has the felt kind of on the inside. It's a leather, but it's a rough leather. I don't know if you can tell. See that? It's a rough leather on the inside and on the outside. I guess you'd call that crushed velvet or something. I don't know. But what it does is it grabs onto your shoulder of your shirt. Now what can happen with that is it could pull your shirt forward during a show and you get all unbalanced up there. You might have to keep adjusting your shirt. But what it'll do is it'll hold the guitar up in place rather than let it drop. It will hold itself up pretty good. So when you're playing, you're not trying to hold the guitar neck up while you're playing, which is a pain. Hey, so that's it. Hopefully you got something out of this video, and if you liked it, please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. To check out another video, go ahead and click this link right over here. To check out our channel and see all our videos, click that link down there. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.